Welcome to the Vinny Rock Podcast.
Much more than this, I did it my way.
Yitta-dee. What's up, y'all? It's the Vinny Rock Podcast. Check it out. Today, I actually did a video podcast with my boy, Jamie Kaler. You guys got to check him out. He's actually a really funny dude. He's one of the guys who's kind of been one of the role models of my career. He actually saw a little something in me, invited me to keep doing these dads and parks, and kind of from there, things have kind of taken off since then. And so I just wanted to give him a little shout and say thank you for that. I'm excited to be having you on the podcast. But first, the sponsors. Don't forget we have Beard.com. Yes, I'm the owner, one of the owners of Beard.com. We sell male grooming products. There's shampoos, there's conditioners, there's waxes, there's oils, there's balms. You guys go check them out. Check out Beard.com. If you got a beard, if you have some dryness in the skin, if you got a beard that you want it to smell good for the ladies, go check out Beard.com. If you guys want to ask me for my personal favorite, it's Grandpappy's. I used to love Manor. I still love Manor, but Grandpappy's has something on me. It's got a hold of me. You guys go check it out. Don't forget to check out Beard.com. Another one of my sponsors is Core Medical Group. Man, I can't even tell you how much they have changed my life. And it's just the most honest thing I could tell you. I feel good lifting weights again. I'm running. Yesterday I ran, I don't know, maybe it was a mile and a half for the first time. Like I've actually ran outside, not on a treadmill, pushed myself, kicked my own ass, and didn't feel miserable for it right after. You guys, if you're feeling slummy, if you're feeling slow, go check out Core Medical Group. Hit them up. I'm telling you right now, go hit up Core Medical Group. You can go get your blood tested. You can get your blood tested anywhere in the United States. They'll tell you if you have your hormones out of whack, and if you do, they'll put them right back on track. I promise you, you will not regret it. Core Medical Group, Core Medical Group, Core Medical Group. Trust me, you will fucking message me later saying, damn, I couldn't believe it's taken me this long to fucking do this. Core Medical Group, sorry about that stutter. I smell dinner cooking. Core Medical Group is a hormone replacement facility anywhere in the United States. They can ship it directly to your house. You will not regret this. Beyond Clothing, you guys know your expeditionary outdoor clothing, Beyond Clothing at beyondclothing.com. I don't know what else to say about these guys, but it's some of the most quality gear I have ever worn and put on my body. If you guys remember the movie Range 15, those are the pants I were Beyond Clothing. They're durable. I still have them. I still wear them, and know that they're good for the outdoors, for layering systems, especially in the cold, in the outdoors to get wet, all kinds of different things. You guys check out Beyond Clothing, beyondclothing.com. If you're an outdoor expeditionary type person, this is the place for you, and I promise. Willie Peach Chocolates. I got to find out if the hot sauce is ready, but if it is, please go check it out. Go check out Willie Peach Chocolates. Willie Peach Chocolates, we have a hot sauce. I believe it's selling for $14. It might even be a little cheaper than that. You guys check it out. Please let them know Vinny Rock sent you, the Vinny Rock Podcast, Willie Peach Chocolate. You guys need to try our hot sauce. It is a smoky hot sauce. It's more in the mild hot range. I wouldn't say it's not terribly hot. It's comfortable. You can enjoy a steak. You can enjoy chicken. You can enjoy anything you want with it. It is smoky and it tastes freaking amazing. Go check out Willie Peach Chocolates. Perseverance Survival. You guys know the Wilby hoodies I wear, and as well as the Ranger panties that they sell. They sell them in all different colors and shapes and sizes. I love them. You guys check them out, perseverancesurvival.com. GMR Gold. I just got a package yesterday, showed it to my daughter. That's her gift. They're all fighting for it. They all want their gold and silver. It's been fun, actually, and my oldest one is next, and she's excited that the next one is going to be hers. The last one, we did the price in silver, man. Silver is awesome. I'm excited about it. You will get your money's worth, I promise you. Go check out GMR Gold and the Bullion Box. Warfighter Tobacco, you already know. That's my cigars. We just got them here at the Beehive State at Beehive Cigar Lounge. Go check them out. They have Warfighter Tobacco. I believe they bought 5 different blends. I'll be in town here soon, and I'll be able to go smoke them with the friends. If you guys don't have a place to smoke them, go over to Throwbacks Barber Company. You guys smoke them right outside of the barbershop. It's right around the corner from the Beehive. You can even go next door to Duffy's Bar and smoke in the back patio. Maybe we'll have a smoke session. We'll gather around the troops and go do it. Don't forget, Lead Slingers Whiskey. We have it in Utah. We have it in Texas. We have it in California. We have it in 37 states, I believe it is. Just recently sent to Kentucky as well as other places. Check it out. You guys need to know where to go. Hit us up online. We'll tell you where to find it. Now, here's a podcast, Jimmy Keller, one of the funniest men I've ever met. This is record. I'm gonna have to record my sponsors later because I don't want to waste your time with hitting you with all the sponsors. It just takes a little bit of a time. I love my sponsors, but I love more that I get to talk to you finally.
Yeah. Have you been sitting there for a while? What's going down? All right.
I'm working on 90 different things, so it's all good.
Join the club.
You know how that works. Well, shit, man. I flew home for a couple days because I got a little bit of a break, and then I fly back to LA soon. But it's funny. It's hard to even find time to just see you, even though I'm right down the street from you.
I know. Well, you're a working actor. What can I tell you, man? That's why when you start working as an actor, it's over. You're gone.
I don't get it. It's work.
Work? Yeah, right? It's like, be careful what you wish for. You sit on set. You must have like 12-hour days.
Sometimes 15. It's crazy. It's been wild, but like I said, I love it. You know, it's been cool. There's a lot of guys who listen to the podcast are always interested in the acting stuff. And I thought, like, man, it'd be a good one to have with you because, like, you have crazy amount of experience. I mean, you've been in the acting world now for, was it 30 years?
115 years.
115 years, yes. Man, you look good.
In my crappy white. I've just woke up with kids, man. I'm like, I look like a hobo. I started acting in right when I got out of the Navy in 94, basically. Yeah.
That's crazy. Was it something that you've always wanted to – oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is that something you've always wanted to do?
You know, it's funny because I never really did it as a kid, but I apparently, as soon as I got into it, everybody I grew up with was like, we knew you were going to do that. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. Because I was always the performer. I was cripplingly shy when I was young. I couldn't speak in public and everything. And so I think for me, it's honestly a drug. Like, you know, the adrenaline surge you get when you perform. Yeah. Oh, I'm so nervous. And then I would perform like doing stand-up or like acting or whatever. And then after that rush of like, oh, that felt good. That's kind of the drug of choice at this point.
It's crazy when you say that. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about because, like, you know, what's funny is I used to be a big adrenaline junkie after leaving the military. I'm like, man, I got to do something that's, you know, working at the prison. I was like, fuck yeah, this is like crazy. I loved it. And then going to the Border Patrol, I fucking loved it. But then after all that, I was like, I started falling in love with like performing with the YouTube stuff with Matt and Jared and all that shit. And I started like, there's a whole different buzz, man. And then getting onto the Mayans is like, bro, that's like high level fucking anxiety and nerves and fucking adrenaline. Wild.
Dude, when I shot Friends, everyone's like, oh, that must have been amazing. And I was like, no, it was the most nervous week of my life. Every day I was like, I'm going to get fired. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, felt uncomfortable. But let me ask you this. Once you go for a few weeks of the Mayans, then all of a sudden you show up on that Monday, and for some reason it's like you're comfortable all of a sudden. You're like, oh, I can do this. It finally starts to click once you're in a job that you're like. When I did My Boys, you know, I remember the first few episodes, I was like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be here for a while. And then you start to feel comfortable as opposed to the guest who's only there for like. That's the hardest job, is being a guest star, because you got to show up and the cast is already formed. They've been together years sometimes, and all of a sudden you're the guy who's like, you've got to like keep a level with them, but you're not really like. I did NCIS. Mark Harmon's making $1 million that week. Yeah. And he's like, hey man, how you doing? And he was really cool about it. But other times you're like, this is
not as good as you, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not quite as great. I mean, you know, when you're sitting there like, oh man, I might make my insurance this year.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's the kind of the crazy thing is I'm learning all that shit, right? I'm still learning. And I think it feels like I'll be learning the rest of my career, right? Like you're still going to learn.
I've been writing something, and I was talking about the fact that as you age, really the key is to keep learning, because we get so caught up, and it's really hard nowadays because every day there's another technical thing that, you know, with social media and online, you're like, oh, I just figured out this platform, and now that platform's over, and now I got to figure out this platform, and it's like it's just getting old of like trying to relearn everything again. So
yeah, it's funny because a lot of the actors don't have social media down as well as I do, and so it's this funny space, right? Like I'm the expert in social media.
You are.
To most of the guys.
Yeah.
You know, and so which is cool, but at the same time, like, but I'm also not as well known as some of these guys, right? So
But you are online. You're more well known than those guys online.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just a different medium and stuff. So I want to hear what's happening with your character this season.
Can't say.
You can you not say? Oh, you can't say here. We'll talk later about it.
We'll talk later. I can't say here, but we'll definitely get to talk. But
is Gilly taking on a bigger role?
I can't say. You want to know something funny though? The other day I was taking an Uber and the guy just first question, he goes, "So what do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm an actor." And he goes, "Awesome. What restaurant do you work at?" And I was like, "What?"
Well, that joke definitely gets old.
Bro, I've never heard that before, so I was lost. I was so lost, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, it's an old joke." I was like, "Oh," and then midway through the drive, I'm like, "I get it." And I started laughing, but I say that because I posted the video with you and me and the dad's podcast we did, DadLands, and someone was like, "Man, Jamie was my favorite bartender."
It's true.
Where were you?
Really a good bartender. So when I first got out, I was starting acting, but I didn't make enough money to live on, so I got a job at this Irish pub in Santa Monica. It was the best, man. I had 2 shifts a week for years. And so I worked Wednesdays, and first I was weekend guy when I first started, Friday and Saturday. Then I started to work as an actor, so I just kept 2 shifts, and I had Wednesday and Sunday. And if I worked, I would get my shifts covered. And so I shot Friends or whatever, and I went back to work, and so I'm bartending. And one night I'm bartending, and the guy goes to order from me, and he looks over my head. He goes, "Hey, you're on Friends." And I go, "Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, I did Friends." And he goes, he's like, "Oh, that's so awesome, man. Can I get a vodka tonic, 2 beers?" And I was like, ugh, back to reality. Man.
Yeah.
But it was great. I loved it because, I mean, it was a party. It was this Irish pub. It was old school. Like, it was just me. I would bartend. Most of the time, my friends would fill the place. We'd all just drink and hang out, meet girls. So it was a really fun time. I actually did not give up that job even through the first season of My Boys, where I got the shifts covered every week.
No way.
And then finally, like a year, and I gotten them covered for like over a year. And the manager called. He's like, "I feel like you don't work here anymore." And I go, "I guess I don't." But it wasn't even like a job. I mean, it was like literally Wednesdays and Sundays. That was it. And if I didn't want to work, people would fight for my shift. I'd walk with a few $100. I'd have some drinks to meet some girls. So it was like a social thing too. And I started a stand-up room at that bar. So I ended up doing stand-up on Thursday nights there. And it was really fun. I had a great time. But yeah, so I bartended for years before I did.
It's great. I mean, I was lucky enough to have, Lead Singer's whiskey and stuff that helped me out, or else I don't know. I don't know what, I don't think I would have gotten into acting if I didn't have something that was helping me pay my bills just in case. Sure. You know what I mean? So
you have 6 kids too, brother.
Yeah. Well,
6.
That's part of the fear of acting that, I haven't landed anything that is on contract where like stability, you know what I mean? So it's always like, how's Gilly going to do this season? You know what I mean?
We need to get him bumped up to series regular. That's what that should be Gilly's storyline for season 3.
That's the goal.
We get Gilly to be to be a series regular on season 3.
I think that's always the goal, right? That's what I want. We'll see. That's kind of like, it's crazy to me, man. I think it's weird because right out the gate in my acting career, I have one of the coolest characters. Like, I'm like, this is fun. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's almost unfair for other actors probably like, oh, fuck you, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're getting spoiled, my friend. So when you go to do other stuff, like I had the run on My Boys, and then after My Boys, I would go like guest star on some show, and I'd be like, ugh. Just it was fine. But, when you have like this amazing job with these amazing people and it runs for like a couple seasons, it's hard to then go back and be like, oh, I'm not this scene's not about me. I'm just the support player, It's a little but you're an
Yeah.
actor. You're like, this is my job, and yeah, certain jobs are going to be better than others, but this job is good.
Yeah. Let me ask you,
going
man.
back and doing Tacoma FD in a month. We're going back for Tacoma, and again, I'm in the same boat if I'm just a recurring character on it.
Bro, I want that. I want that one.
That's a funny one, man. That's
Dude,
a real.
As soon as I'm done filming mine, I'm shaving my face, and I'm going to go to any audition I can to get a role like that. I think that's such a fun one, man.
It's a fun one. Yeah.
Let me ask you, man, your favorite character you have ever played?
Definitely Mike on My Boys, only because it was the most. I mean, we did 4 full seasons, so I really got to explore this character that I kind of broke out. He's like this guy, and then by the end of the series, he's married and living in the suburbs. So it was like this full arc, which was cool. But as far as like one-off little characters, I remember the 70s show was really fun because they put me in a wig and I was a comic book nerd, which I didn't really get to play very often. That one was pretty great. Will and Grace, I got to do with Gene Wilder, so that's
huge.
Come true. Like that whole week, I was like, and that was really a fun character because I was the dick in Will's law firm, and I went back for like 6 episodes over the years. But for me, it's always about trying to be the funny guy. I think sometimes when you have like scenes where you just know you crushed it and it's funny, it's always the best for me.
And that's your thing, right? You love the comedies. I mean, you're funny as fuck, dude. So the comedy space is definitely your space.
Well, you get pigeonholed to a degree,
right?
Where like The Rock was in your category until he kind of broke through as the Tooth Fairy or whatever, which you could easily do. But like when casting directors see you, they know what you do more than anything, and they go, I've done drama. I've done heavy drama before. I'm the father in Parenthood, but there's always a little, I'm a Boston kid. I think people play who they are for the most part.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's funny. I've done comedy before I did anything. It's all comedy. Dads in Parks, freaking,
Those videos with Matt and all those things are hilarious.
But no one sees me in comedy right now in the casting side because they see me and they're like, fuck.
Well, visually. But that's what's great. It's like Dave Bautista doing Stuber. You know Dave Bautista?
Yeah, no, when he did fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hilarious.
Brilliant. That is like, I was like, this motherfucker killed that.
He killed it. He is so funny in Guardians of the Galaxy, and
it's unreal.
Sometimes, it's the casting against type, but he doesn't get Stuber without Guardians of the Galaxy. They had to see, and they go, oh my God, that dude's funny. And then he's in everything, but he's kind of a drama heavy.
Dude, so obviously because I'm new, I'm chasing these certain roles that I think like, man, it would be fun. Like I would love a very serious drama, like an emotional thing. You have the short that I saw you in at the GI Film Fest, which is really heavy. That one's heavy. Yeah, that one's
heavy, dude. So, I mean, that's a great indicator. And I think so, too. It's so funny when people go, they're like, oh, you're an actor. What do you do? TV, commercials, fun, comedy, drama? You're like, I'm an actor, man.
Whatever the fuck they tell me.
Well, I'm trying to be real in whatever scenario you give me. So, yeah, I mean, and, I always think drama's easier. It's harder to get somebody to laugh at you than it is to get them. Like, if I just told you, if I was here and I was like, Minnie, the kids are sick and we just got home from the hospital. People are going to go, oh yeah. But it's so easy to like explain, like I lost my family in a car crash this morning. And then people go, that's, you'll make people cry. But not so much by your acting, but by the scenario.
Yeah.
But to get somebody to laugh, really hard. That's what they always say. They go, dying is easy. Comedy's hard. Like something.
No shit. Well, what's funny is that I feel probably way more comfortable in drama, but like I want to fucking I would love to be in the circle of the dudes that are like fucking Broken Lizard, fucking Adam Sandler's crew, the Happy Gilmore guys. Is it Happy whatever it is?
Happy Madison.
Happy Madison. Yeah. I would love to be in those circles where they're like, oh, let's get that fucking dude. Let's bring in Rocco for this. Because like once you get your foot in the door with one of those dudes, like you're going to be picked up for all their shit. And it's like, and I'm like, man, I would love to. Even the fucking dudes, Super Trooper dudes, fuck, those guys are funny. Like all that shit. Like So for me, like, that's really, I've been trying to network in that space. Like, give me the opportunity to do some kind of comedy, because I know I don't look it, but dude, I would love to. And dude, definitely scary to have to pull off comedy. It's fucking, I'm scared of it, but I think I'm more interested in trying to do something dramatic because I've been doing comedy for so long. You know, so I'm like, now I want to see if I can, like, give me a scene where I cry. Like, I'm nervous for that, but I want it, you know?
I've cried a couple times, and since I've had my kids, way easier for me.
Easy. I started to cry once I had kids, bro. Yeah. Like, for real. Like, my life is.
Like, I would go to auditions and tear up. God, I can't believe I lost out this part that I went out for, and I went back 3 or 4 times, and so before I even started to read, they were like, you know, they're worried about you. You know, they love you. You're really funny. They worry about you not being able to get to the emotional side. And I told them a story about my kids right then and there, and the tears streamed down my face before I even started reading. And they were like, oh, okay. All right. So, all right. I go, yeah.
Bro, it's there. It's there. I just hold it back. You don't want me to being a big blubbering crybaby all day long, because I can do that.
Catholic dude, right?
Bro, next season on America's Got Talent, I'm going to record myself watching it, because every golden buzzer, bro, I'm like,
oh my God.
And Christy's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, dude, this shit is emotional for me, man. Like, I love seeing those.
Are you guys on hiatus this week?
No. We were supposed to be on hiatus, but we ended up having to do some catch-ups, some pickups, and then
But you're in Utah right now.
Yeah, I had a couple days.
You shut. That's the beauty of it, man. Yeah. It's got to be tough though when you're down here, right? Because the family's up there. How do you juggle all that stuff while you're down here with the kids up there?
Well, you know, it's an hour and 45-minute flight, you know, and you know, LA traffic. Usually, you're in 3-hour traffic, so I feel like I'm winning on that end of things. But
your wife must be like, you're like, oh, I'm on set. Someone just made me breakfast, and they're bringing me a coffee while they put my makeup on, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get 6 kids to school, dude. Go fuck yourself.
It's funny, like she's so understanding of it. I think it's just like she's really comfortable with the career, and it's just like, all right, this is what we. Has to be.
But at least when you're working, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. When I'm
gigs to go do stand up, and my wife will be like, "Really, you're leaving me for like 5 days at a time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the job."
Well, so I posted that video of me doing music, and she goes, "It's a good song. What the fuck's gonna happen if it blows up?" I said, "I'm not traveling." She goes, "Yeah, you better not," because I don't want to be a traveling artist
because it was too hard.
Say it again.
It wasn't worth it. I stopped doing the road when the kids were born because it just wasn't worth it. It was the money versus the time away.
Yeah. Like, one thing I want to do, I want you to help me develop some stand-up. Like, legit, I want to try it.
Hey, we have a show the 27th. You want to do it?
Bro, I haven't even practiced anything.
You know what? Hey, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know, I think it was Greg Fitzsimmons said, he goes, the first 500 shows don't count. And they don't. They don't. I mean, you just got to get up and try it out. So, do you have a joke ready to go?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost.
How many people who are watching this want to see Rocco do some stand-up? Well, I do.
Well, the last podcast I had was with Clayton, one of the actors who plays Angel, and he's trying to get me to do spoken word. I have spoken word written on my phone, like, and I want to perform it.
You should do the Moth, actually. You should do. And here's what. So we did the show last month, and John Lair, who created 10 Items or Less and Quick Draw for Hulu, he's not really a stand-up either, but he does a one-man show. So he came and he did like 10 minutes of, and he was like using his paper, but he was basically doing a story from The Moth, where it was a story, and he's a recovering alcoholic, and he tells this crazy story about going to jail in Santa Barbara on acid.
Well, that's
a bad story. And so he tells this insane story. It's not stand-up per se, but it is, because everybody in the audience was like enthralled just watching him tell a story.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, don't feel constrained by draft, where it's like you think, I've got to do setup, punchline, I've got to sound like Jim Gaffigan, I've got to sound.
No, dude.
Does. I love Eric Bogosian or John Leguizamo. They do their one-man show.
So that's who I love.
I like that stuff.
I grew up, I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, the first actor I've ever seen on film that blew me away Like I was sitting in my room. I sit in my parents' TV, and we had like the black box with all the channels and shit. Mm-hmm. And it was John Leguizamo performing Freak.
I loved Freak. I thought Freak was fantastic.
Bro,
yeah.
I was like 14, 13 years old, and I was like, holy fuck, this dude.
Hey, puppy. He's so good, dude.
Everything.
He does all of his parents. He does his father and his mother.
Bro, so I've been writing a one-man show. And I think if I'm going to perform anything, it would be parts of that. Exactly that. Like a small part of that.
Well, and that's the key too, is I've done that too, because I've done a bunch of little one-man shows and stuff. So what I would do is when I was trying to run stuff like John, I wouldn't get up and try to do jokes. I would go, hey, this is a bit from my one-man show. It's a story about me and blah, and I would tell it. And so it's basically just boil down maybe 2 3-minute stories or 1 7-minute story or however you want to do it. And then just get up and tell people the story and go, it doesn't matter. And also you're not really you're trying to tell a fun story. I mean, The Moth is great like that, where people get up and the audience is so understanding, where they're like, hey, we're just here to enjoy people talking and telling stories,
I'm down.
All right.
I'm down.
You're here the 27th. You can jump up. We're doing a show right here in NoHo. I
feel like throwing up when just saying that.
Dude, and so listen, that feeling of throwing up, all right, so I remember that. So I still get that. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? And so when you get up and after you do it, like John Lair said the same thing. He goes, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I had another guy who was going to do it. He canceled and he regrets it. John Lair after the show was like, he goes, dude, that was cathartic. And then when he went to do his show on the road, he was like, thank you so much, because just getting up and running that block of it was amazing. And he could, he fine-tuned it. And so you put it up in bits and pieces, because otherwise, what are you going to do? Stand up in front of somebody and do a whole 1-hour show that's never been seen before?
That's exactly. I told my
bits and pieces that will kill, and then put them together like a puzzle.
That's exactly. I told my wife how I want to prepare for this. Like I plan to hopefully be done writing it and already practicing it by the end of this year. Because I'm writing it I'm on set. I'm writing it, and it's a really easy story to tell, because it's about my parents, me, and my kids. Right? It's kind of the different generations of our families.
Yeah, exactly.
And some fucking cool stories in there. And so I plan to like practice them on stage like that, like small little clips, which makes it even easier when you say them. Like, fuck, exactly what I need to do is I have the story about my dad who's fucking crazy. So I think it's funny.
You should go back and listen to the Father Time episode you did with me, because all those stories are there, because I sat for an hour and interviewed you about your father, and you told me the most amazing stories about your dad that the whole time, I think we even talked after to go like, dude, that's a show. Your dad's amazing.
Well, that's exactly. There's a lot of it on how he raised me and what I've taken from him to raise my kids. And then to find out the
parallels. Mother. Isn't he? He's a tough ass dude,
bro. And the parallels of how he raises me, and I told myself, like, I don't ever want to be like that with my kids. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking him, bro.
I just did something yesterday to my kids, and I was like, oh my God, I'm my fucking father. I am my father. I can't stop it, because they were driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was doing the same thing to them that I said I would. Who are you to do that to me? And I'm doing it to them because, I mean. It's crazy.
Bro, I yelled at my daughter last night. It was so funny. It's like I don't yell at her for anything stupid. I don't yell at anything that probably she needs to be yelled at. It's just the dumb things. Because I was like, hey, let's go on a run. There's 3 of my kids are here. So I was like, I need to go on a run. Let's go as a family. She goes, this is weird. I'm like, why is this weird? She goes, we never do this. I'm like, I can't start a new tradition where we run as a family. How many other fucking, I was like, how many other fucking dads are out here running with their goddamn kids? Like me, enjoy this shit. And I'm like fucking pissed. And so then we go and run. It's maybe a mile and they're beating the shit out of me. And dude, in my heart, I'm like, no, they're not beating me, because I'm already pissed off at that comment. And so I smoked them. The last part of it, I just sprinted. Just like, I'm going to die, but it's okay. I'm going to fucking win. You know what I mean? And like, I was just so angry at her comment. Like, why can't, like, my family, like my dad, my mom, dude, we ran 5 miles as a family. Like, we would do it like once here.
I never did that.
Well, my mother does.
To me, running is a solitary thing. Like, I don't like to run. My wife, when we were dating, was like, hey, let's go for a run. I was like, we went on 1 or 2, and nobody's at the same pace. I'm like,
no, I get it. But it's weird because, like, my family was so active. It was just one of the things we did. My mother ran marathons. My father did. Yes, my father did 50-mile bike rides. So, like, it was easy for us to be like, hey, we're going to go do 5 miles. And we're all like, shit. You know what I mean? But it was cool. Now I look back like fucking weird family. We ran 5 miles. We used to run from my mom's house all the way to CSUN and back, bro, which is.
Maybe they just didn't have a car and that was their way of getting you places.
Well, it's the reason I don't have a middle name is because my mom thought it cost more money.
That's the greatest joke of all time, which is, it has to be true.
It is 100%. That's what she said. She goes, well, you thought it cost more, so I didn't give you one. So none of us have middle names, bro.
Bro, that's definitely in the show.
Yeah, I think it's great. But my mom's so funny, dude.
That's really funny. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. Yeah. Seriously, are you down here the 27th? Come do the show.
I'll let you know because hopefully today I get my schedule and whether.
That's the other thing about acting, right? The actors there's a reason they call us meat puppets. We're the last people to know anything. So I was supposed to go. I'm shooting this film right now called Aftermath, which is really cool. This kind of terror horror film or whatever. And I have a few dates. And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know the dates. And you're like, okay, it's fine. They kind of gave me some dates. And so I had to move one of my stand-up gigs because I was supposed to be August 2nd. And then I'm shooting one day and they're like, oh, no, you're not working the 2nd. That got moved. And I was like,
dude, it's crazy.
You just don't know. So it is. And the problem is, as a working actor, you can never complain because then people go, shut the fuck up. You're working. Right? Like, who you bit? What a diva! You're a I want to know what I'm doing.
I have so many friends that are trying to be actors or getting small gigs, and then I'm over here bitching about like, oh, bro, I might not get this episode.
I have a handful of friends that I can bitch to.
Yeah,
and they're at my level.
Right.
And then you have friends who work less, and you can't bitch to them whatsoever because they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then you have friends above you who don't bitch to you.
Yeah.
They're like worth millions, and you're like, all right, dude, it's all whatever.
Dude, it's tough because I've been wanting to get some meetings in with some casting directors so they can see me, get to know me, and all that stuff. But I can't schedule nothing. Like I haven't been able to schedule anything.
You cut a reel, dude. That's what you should do from season 1. Just take your best highlights and cut a demo. Have you cut a demo reel yet?
I have one, but for me, it's like it's not impressive in my opinion because I didn't get to show, I guess, some of the range. So.
Well, it's hard because you're also not going to – yeah, I know the season 1, it was like you were always there, but did you have – like I had the same thing with my boys, right? Because my character was typically the guy who would chime in with the button line at the end of it. There'd be a story, and then I'd be like, we're out. But to have like that one-on-one scene with somebody,
yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to find that perfect little scene. Yeah, I still – to this day, my reel is still all over the place where you're like, I've been in like 80 shows and still there's no, it's not, I don't have an Academy Award Daniel Day-Lewis moment of me reciting a monologue.
That's the thing, dude. That's what I'm waiting. I need something like that, whether it be in this show or when we're on hiatus, I jump on something else for an episode. Who knows? But I'm definitely. But
once you do your one-man show too, you film that and you'll cut pieces of that.
Oh yeah. I plan to fucking pimp that motherfucker out like crazy. And I have the Throwbacks comedy. We're almost done with that completely. The one I filmed.
I loved it. Yep.
It was cool. I mean, for my first go, I'm really proud of it. I'm waiting for it to be finalized. So hopefully it can open up a little bit more doors and show some range on what we do as well.
You're moving and shaking, brother. We have the same casting director from the Mayans. It's Wendy O'Brien. And she cast Coma FD.
Oh, I'm going to have to throw some emails.
So if they ever have a part that's a crazy psychopathic killer Army Ranger, then you're,
Dude,
I'll be thanking you for that.
Oh my God, I'm gonna text you.
Here's the thing, those guys. Here's the beauty of Heffernan and Lemmy is they cast everything themselves. Yeah. They use the casting people, but for the most part, they know so many people throughout town, and that's what is great. And it's the same way. Like I was like, "Hey, dude, come do this. I'm working on this," and I think that's always the best way is just to work with your friends anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think you know what to expect. It's like, dude, I wish I was able to make that last week. I was like, oh, I was telling my wife about it. It's like, I wish I was available for stuff because I need to just jump on different things. I need people to see me different.
The problem is when you have a job like that, you're at their beck and call to a degree.
Dude, and it's all good, right?
Like season end. When do you guys wrap?
Sometime in September.
Because it starts airing the first episode. How many episodes is it? 9 or something?
10.
10 episodes. Awesome. And that's FX, that'll be cool. And it premieres in September, right? Season 2?
September 3rd.
That's awesome.
It's coming close, man.
I mean, of course, you're going to be out of work in September, but aside from that, every other part of it's awesome.
That's like I'm sitting here already thinking like, oh my goodness, I need to start finding something else. Or at least I want to. Like I have the time to find something. I don't care what it is. Like dude, I would love to jump on a Netflix or a Hulu film. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of them out there. Just give me something. You know?
I think what you do is you just take a number like a deli, and when your number comes up, then they throw you in whatever Hulu show they're making at the time.
There it is. Oh man! So what else is going on with you, man?
Crazy children.
How's DadLands going? The DadLands podcast and everything else?
Oh yeah. The podcast is good. I haven't been recording much lately. I've been doing other shenanigans. We went on vacation over the 4th with the kids.
That's nice.
Which was great for them. I was like, if anyone, like people was like, oh, how was your vacation? I go, well, it was kind of a full-time job. I had to get kids. I was basically either transporting or I was lifeguarding or I was feeding or I was.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're like, boy, vacations aren't really.
No, bro. They're exhausting.
They go, you can leave kids in the Discovery Center at the hotel or whatever. And you're like, great, which is fine, except it's $15 a kid per hour. So there's $30 an hour. So if my wife and I want to take like a morning and go by ourselves somewhere, there's $120. So you're like,
that's the crazy thing. It's expensive.
And then you're like, you feel guilty. You're away from the kids anyway. So you went there. So all day long, it was like the kids would wake up at the crack of dawn. I would stumble out, go down to get breakfast with them while my wife tried to sleep in for a bit. Then we'd go to the pool for a bunch of hours. Then we went to SeaWorld and we went to the tide pools in La Jolla. And then we did all this great. And so by the end of the day, we're all in one hotel room. So unless you pay thousands for a giant suite where they have their own room, you're basically in 2 queen-size beds in a nice hotel. We're in the Grand Del Mar in San Diego. But at the end of the week, you're like, I came home more exhausted than I left.
That's the thing, dude. It's crazy. Like, we did a cruise, and it was kind of cool because I knew the kids couldn't go too far unless they jumped off the fucking boat.
Well, your kids aren't that young.
They're not that young, so it was pretty comfortable. Like
my 4-year-old, I'd still be terrified she'd go over the edge.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'd be too nervous as well. But like they had these kid centers and I was like, well, let's just try it one day. And I just threw them in there. And then I was waiting to see what their feedback was. They're like, Dad, let's do it again tomorrow. I'm like, oh, fuck yes. So just threw them back in there again. And that was cool because on a cruise, it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean? But like they
don't charge you per kid?
No, I mean, it was all covered. It's all
included, right? See, that's the way it should be.
That was nice.
Take my kids for a while. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But when you sit there and they start to penny pinch you for your kids thing, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Now all of a sudden, so if I want the whole day off, 8 hours times 15 times 2, $150 if I had my 6 kids.
I have 6.
That would have been, for you to put your kids, it would have been like thousands and thousands.
Well, to say vacation, like, I don't know if our family's ever going to know what a vacation outside of driving distance.
It's not a vacation. And we did this because we didn't want to fly.
Yeah.
My wife was like, look, I'll do you a favor. We're not going to fly. So we drove to San Diego. And it was fun.
Yeah.
But the kids had like they had dream vacations. Like if they ever get interviewed, they'd be like, oh my God, vacation was great.
It's the best.
Somebody packed for me. And they put me in a car. I complained a lot. They pulled over 3 or 4 times for me to go pee-pee. They gave me snacks left and right. When we got there, they took me to the pool. My dad lifeguarded. Then they got me dinner, and then they took me to SeaWorld. Then they got me horseback riding, and then it was like the greatest vacation ever for them.
They're living the dream.
I mean, there were like moments where I was just laying on the bed in the hotel, like, God damn it, this is painful, man.
Dude, it's crazy. We're going to San Antonio this weekend. Christy's mom's getting remarried, and it's exciting as hell. But like, she's like, well, I have to go get my hair done. The girls have to get their nails done. I'm actually, after this podcast, I'm taking the girls to get their nails done. And then I'm going to go take the dogs to the kennel. And then they're going to get ready to fly out in the morning. So we have to pack them. Bro, I'm like, send me back to California. Let me go act like that.
Dude, we're doing the same thing. So my wife's sister's getting married in December. So we already planned the trip for December. And it's December in New York. So I'm sure we'll get hit by a blizzard.
Oh my God, it's cold.
Hotel. We have to rent a car that has child seats. So we have to pay extra for those. And so she's also having her like bridal shower in October. And I was like, look, just go by yourself. There's no reason for us all to go for this thing. And she goes, we are going to New York in October. This is happening. Get over it. I go, what are you doing? You're going to be at a bridal shower. You're going to be hungover. You're not going to want your husband and kids there anyway. What are we doing? Why are we all getting on a plane? Huge fight. And then finally it's like, no, this is happening. So we are also going to New York for a week. And then finally she's like, look, for the 2 days of the shower and stuff, you can go in the city. And the kids will stay with my parents. I was like, fine. And so I've already reached out to friends in New York City. I'm like, dude, I'm crashing at your place in October.
That's cool. That's great, dude. It's been crazy here, man. But, when I'm home, I try and spend some time. She's working. So it's like when she's working, I'm like, I'm going to the office and do a podcast. I'm going to go freaking write. I'm going to go work on something. You know what I mean?
But it's also for you, it's good because here's the other great thing when you're a working actor is that if you didn't have a job, if you didn't know you were going back to the Mayans next week, your brain starts to go, holy shit, I got to get some. But when you're like, oh, you know what? I'm working next week. You're like, I'm okay. Like I have a few jobs coming up. I'm working on the film right now. I'm doing Tacoma coming up, a couple other things. And so I'm still trying to be productive, but I'm also like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So let me ask you, man. So there's a lot of veterans. A lot of veterans reach out to you about acting?
Do a lot of what?
Do a lot of veterans hit you up about acting?
More and more now, I think. You know what's funny? We've talked about this before because we met at that GI Film Fest. And I fell into that years after I got out. When I first got out I got out in 92 and I fucked around San Diego and bartended for a year and then fell into, my friend was in an improv group and he's like, hey, there's some really good looking women in this. And I'm in. And then I was like, I got on stage and I was like, oh, I love this. But at the time, people told me, they were like, don't let anybody know you're a veteran, because at the time there was no veterans in acting. Yeah. People would in their mind, they couldn't detach the fact that you were a veteran. They'd be like, he can't act. He's a veteran. They're very, stiff and that. And it's changed now. So many more veterans are getting out and getting into the arts. And so I kind of fell back in and I definitely helped mentor people more so. But when I first got out, it was funny too, because I'd go to meetings, I'd have like agent meetings, and I, of course, would be 15 minutes early because that's the way we do it. And then they'd be like, you're early. And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, yeah. And it took me a long time to learn to not show up early.
I'm learning that.
People, and it sucks because I'm still early. If I'm not right on time, if I run late, I get anxiety. Because I used to fear, if I missed the ship, I'd go to jail. Yeah. We slept on the ship the night before the ship left because I didn't want to try to get up at 4 a.m. and make it to the ship. I was always afraid I'd oversleep. And if you miss your ship's movement, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
I mean, you are seriously fucked.
Yeah.
It's not like, I love when people like in the real world, I would tell that too. They go, well, you just, isn't there a way they just shuttle you back out to the ship? I go, no, they're fucking gone, dude. And you go to jail. You go to the brig on base. It's not like you go, I missed the ship, I'm going back to my apartment for the week. No, you're in serious trouble. We had guys miss ship's movement. They would lose rate, lose pay. They'd get suspended. They'd get in trouble.
That's crazy.
Crazy, dude. And so people don't really understand that. And so when I got out, I would be at meetings early and people were like, yeah, nobody's going to be here for like another hour, dude. So just sit down and relax. Yeah. So I was really hesitant to tell people I was in the Navy. And it wasn't until years later when I did America Facts versus Fiction for basically the military channel. Yeah. American Heroes channel at that point, that I then embraced it. And I started to meet all these guys. But from my era, there's not a lot of guys.
There's a lot of guys now.
Now there's so many, dude.
A lot of guys now, man, and they're doing good. It's crazy.
And they're doing great, and it's really amazing to see. But I will tell you, back in the day, I mean, when I first got out, nobody I knew from the military went into that field. I was literally alone. And I got to Hollywood. I didn't know anybody. I was 30 years old. I'd never acted before. People were like, you're insane. What are you doing here? And I was like, I'm going to be an actor. And there was no like veteran groups to reach out to. Yeah. Nothing, dude. I was in an island there.
It's crazy now. Like even Clayton, he said the first day he saw me on, like not on set, we had a meeting and everyone in the room is a decent enough actor. They all know each other. And they looked at me and they're like, who the fuck is this? They thought I was a background extra. And they're like, why is he in this meeting? And I'm like, me, myself, I'm like, look, man, I'm glad I'm here too, but I know I'm fucking the new guy. You know what I mean? I get it. I know how to be a private too. Like, I know how to act. So I just kept my fucking head down, dude. And it's crazy. It's been cool. And it's cool to see a lot of veterans getting into acting and going into arts and also, I get somebody guys hit me up and trying to explain, like, bro, like my story is a different story. Very, very lucky. And I know how hard it is. I'm still, I want to land another gig to prove myself. You know what I mean? It's something that's hard for me to do, is just kind of admit to myself, like, I am still supposed to be here. But a lot of guys hit me. I was like, man, how do you do it? I'm like, dude, it's not easy. This is a hard road.
It's a hard road. And I will tell you, dude, there's never any security. Right. That's the one hard part, is that, like, you can have a great run and you can have a couple years on a show, and say the Mayans goes for another 2 or 3 years or something. When that ends, the competition is just as tough to get that next job. Yeah, you have a little bit of a resume at this point, but at some point, there's a billion other people out there who are all uber talented. And so, I mean, you're always a mover and shaker, though. And you're, who did I work with? I worked with Lily Tomlin on Will and Grace. And we were talking, and she's a huge writer. She had a huge Broadway show that she had written, a one-woman show. And she knew I was a comic and I'd wrote my own material and stuff. So we talked, and she goes, if you write, you'll work forever in this town. If you can write your own material, you'll be fine. It's the people who sit and wait for the phone to ring. Yeah. We're like just waiting for the next audition. But, you're like me, where I host. Now I host Haunted Live for the Travel Channel. I do voiceover. We podcast. We do other stuff. We're creating material. You have to, because if you're not a creator, you better be Christian Bale, man. You better be able to really act. But I know a million people who are phenomenal actors who never get arrested, because it's a really hard business, man. You got to find the right part. You got to have chops. That's the thing.
It's the thing is, just because you're a great actor doesn't mean you're going to get the opportunity.
No, and the question is, I know friends who are great actors, but they're not great auditioners. So they'll walk into a room and they're a terrible auditioner, and you're like, they can't flip it. It's just it's a vicious medium. But you gotta, when you're working, you gotta love it, and when you're not working, just don't. I tell my wife, I go, just don't spend money. Just don't spend money. This is easy. Really easy. That's the key. Spend less than you earn. I don't know how else to tell you.
You just gotta hustle it, man. You gotta work. There's like I said, there's so many different approaches to film and television and arts. That's what I'm trying to be successful in all the realms. When one's not popping, the other one hopefully should be. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm the same. I'm pitching shows the same as you, and I'm, hopefully Haunted Live is coming back, and then, it's this crazy mix, and then I'll do stand-up. Somebody just reached out. I did this gig maybe 10 years ago for this company, and they found me through the DadLands and were like, hey, we were looking for you. We're trying to find you for this corporate gig we're doing in Houston in September. And I was like, yes, here's my manager. Yes. Yeah. So the fact that I can act, can host, use teleprompter on Haunted Live, also have like my hours of stand-up that I could do live anywhere and get paid for. Yeah. And then the voiceover, the narration stuff, anything else you can do that makes you a triple threat just helps you in this world try to monetize it, really. I mean, you have such an online presence anyway.
Yeah. Well, I also got hired. I'm hired on currently right now, the official military advisor for the show and law enforcement advisor.
You should be, dude. Your history with the Army Ranger and the Border Patrol.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That not a show, and you had your own show on the History Channel, which was crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually going to try and pitch that concept, the Border Patrol concept, here soon. Getting it together because it just makes
Border Patrol alone, dude. That concept, please, for the love of God, can I be your partner on that show? I want to be the Border Patrol guy with you because that is so vibrant.
It'd be so good, dude. Me and you.
So big. Are you kidding me? Yes.
You'd be a great Border Patrol agent.
I'll put my I'll get my flat top, and I'll be the white supremacist.
No, you're the Mormon guy who speaks perfect Spanish and he doesn't.
Do I get several wives?
Oh yes.
My whole posse down there, and we'll live in Flagstaff, Arizona.
There you go. That's exactly it.
All over it, brother. Actually, we'd have to go to Waco, right? We'll go to Waco.
No, that's too far up.
What's the closest one to Juarez?
To what is it? It's El Paso, dude.
El Paso, that's what I meant. El Paso.
Yeah, that's it. Well, dude, I'm gonna jump off here soon because I gotta go take these kids to get their nails done. But, dude, tell my listeners where to find you. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that hit you up for questions about acting.
Yeah, dude, please, especially vets and parents, which is almost everybody out there. I run the DadLands, TheDadLands, and you can find to get a good Facebook group. And we have the DadLands podcast, which you are on.
Yes,
which,
I
by the way, was hilarious.
So funny.
If you want to hear the story of how he started a knife fight in a phone store parking lot, then you definitely want to hear that. Or the story about you getting
staph infection in my eye.
That's the grossest thing.
It's so gross.
That little clip, and we posted it, and people were like losing their mind.
Bro, it's crazy.
Down here, will you come do it again? We'll do it again.
Yeah, for sure. I got some crazy stories.
Maybe just put a hard link in there to the DadLands or my page, and definitely come find me if you're vets and you're looking for any advice. I'm always down to help, and I host the GI Film Fest in September. Actually, you know who should come visit?
I should
come to the GI Film Fest a little bit.
Tell them to invite my ass.
I'll tell. Yeah, absolutely. We'll bring it up. We might put a little show together, so maybe I'll have you come do that.
Oh, I'd love to.
And the 27th.
Yes, the 27th.
You're going to come do some stage time. You just got scared again. You just shit your pants. Did you feel it?
Yeah. I gotta go. Gotta change.
All right. Come find me, everybody. Thank you, Vinny. Always a pleasure.
All right, brother. Later.
I did it.